Run the marathon. Yesterday we were in Bible study in here, and we ran Philippians 3. And she's not here, but a young lady, she said that one of the verses reminded her of how our walk in faith is a marathon, not a race. It doesn't matter how fast you're going, it's just the end, it's the ending that you're going towards. And so it's just, the question is, will you run the marathon? So, it's not a marathon, it's a race. My next question, how far will you go? How far will you let yourself be used as a vessel in God's kingdom so that you can continue growing, so that He can use you to help others? I wanted to remind you guys of earlier this year. I don't know how many of you were there, but in the beginning of the semester, I spoke on you're a new creation in Christ. You are freed from the past, and that ties into this. He's done so much for me in a year, and He can do so much for you in a year. And all that stuff that happened before this year, that wasn't me. Because I know my identity, and I'm a child of God. And I want you guys to know your identity, because you're also children of God. And so, it's just, will you go? How far will you go? Will you let Him use you? Will you take that leap of faith? Will you run that marathon? And I want to go to the next to the verse, because we read this yesterday if you guys were there in Bible study. Philippians 3:14. I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Some context, this was written in prison. It was written by Paul, and he was a disciple, and he was in prison. And he was writing a letter to the other disciples, and he was basically explaining, like, he was in prison, but he understood that he wasn't going to stay there. He understood that God had more for him, and that he was continuing, he wanted to keep going down this path and walk of faith with God to just do His works for His kingdom. It wasn't, because some people, when you're in prison, you might want to give up. You might say this is the end. And oftentimes, a lot of us feel like that. And we're not in prison. We're in school, and it's hard. Life is hard, but we have to keep pressing forward because that's what we're called to. That's what He called us to do. And so that's why I say again, how far will you go? Will you keep going on this marathon, or will you choose to give up? Because it shows, like, even, I know you guys didn't share your major events, but for every major event, He was there. Even if you didn't know it, or you didn't acknowledge it, He was there with you. And He's been there through the good, the bad, the things that are beautiful, things that are ugly. For every big accomplishment, He was there celebrating with you. And every time you fell down, He was there to pick you up. I read this on Tuesday, and I think I think it fits this message. It was You can read it?
Psalms 105, verses 4 and 5. Search for the Lord and for His strength. Continually seek Him. Remember the wonders He has performed, His miracles and the rule He has given.
So the first part says, what's it?
Search for the Lord
for His strength. Continuously seek Him. Remember the wonders He has performed, His miracles and the ruling He has given.
It hit me because another fun fact, it's kind of my anniversary of becoming an ambassador today. And my birthday. Thank you, Tina. And search for the Lord and search for His strength. In whatever you do, you're supposed to be looking for Him. There's every aspect of your life you're supposed to be searching for Him. For me, I search for Him in dance, and I praise dance, and that's a gift He's given me. That's a gift I've used. Continuously seek Him. So it's just, again, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter if it's sports or school or dance or, I don't know, working, continuously seek Him. It also says to remember the wonders he has performed, his miracles, and the rulings he has given. It's a reflection. So right now, that's kind of the main point of this activity, is to reflect on how far you've come and think of, if you've come this far, how much farther can you go? How much more can you press on heavenward like Paul, because that's what we were called for. So right now, I just want to take some time, and I want you guys to just sit in silence and think, reflect. What are the major events that have happened? How did God impact your life? How is he continuously impacting your life, and how much farther are you willing to go? So just sit for, let's say, 3 minutes.